Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial of advanced computer programming. In this tutorial, we are going to talk about the Java's toString method. So before I start talking about the toString method, let's consider a scenario. Let's consider a student object where a student has an ID, name, phone number and email, and you want that student object to be displayed on the screen. To display the student object on the screen, you will be calling the getter methods of the student object and then printing the values using the print function on the screen. Let me tell you an easier way to do this. With the help of Tostring function, you will only have to pass the reference of the object to the print function and it will take care for the rest. Let's have a look at the Tostring function. Okay, so here we are with the demo project, and I have just created a simple project where I'm going to create a sample class called student class. So I'm going to create a new class called student, where the student in my case is having a private roll number. And the roll number could be an integer, and the student has a private name. Let's just keep this class simple for now, and I'm going to add some constructors for all the fields, and also I'm going to add the getters and setters so that I can actually get and set the values from the main function. Okay, so now that our class is ready, I'm actually going to jump onto the main function and going to create the object of the student class S1 and create a new student with the roll number 22 and with name Imran. Okay, so now that if I want to print the name and the roll number of the student, I will be calling the getters separately into two different print calls. So I would call that as this1 dot get roll number, and if I want to see that on the screen, so this is the output that I'm getting, which is Imran and 22 for now. Okay, so what if I want to print it using some simple technique, which is just like other variables, I will simply pass the reference variable and try to print it out. Before I execute this program, let me add a package for this class, for the student class. That's not necessary to understand the concept, but let me just do that. So I'll be saying demo class. So I'm just moving the student class into this package, and I'm saying okay, refactor. Okay, coming back to the main function. So now I will simply say print this S1 and let me say I run. So now the output that I'm getting is demo class dot student at the rate hexadecimal number. So what does this output represent? So to understand this concept, let me explain you one thing that we have actually not discussed before. In Java, every class that you write is actually a subclass of the object class. So that means whenever you're writing a class, it automatically extends a superclass called object, which is there in the java.lang package. So what does that mean? That means all the methods of the object class are actually inherited by the student class. And what's happening right now is that when you are passing this S1 to the print function, it actually calls the toString method. Now you must be amazed that where this toString methods comes from. So actually this toString method is already inherited in this student class from this object class. So let's go and have a look at this toString function. I'm going to press the control key and click on this toString method, which will take me to the definition. So this definition says that return get class dot get name. This is the name of the class, and the fully qualified name includes the package name dot the class name, and then at the rate, and then it says integer dot to hexadecimal string and hash code. So this hash code is converted into the hexadecimal string and it's displayed on the screen. So what if I want to print the student roll number and name when I'm actually calling the toString method? For that, obviously I will have to override the toString function. So here in this class I'm going to override this toString function, which is called public string toString. This function is supposed to return the string representation of your class, and for us the string representation includes roll number and the name of the student. Now let's come to this class and execute the program once again. This time what you must observe is that the toString function is returning a different value, as we have overridden that in our student class. So if we do not override this method, the toString function of the object class was actually being called. And if you override that, now the toString version of our own class has actually been called. Now let me do some interesting changes into this code. If I do not call this toString method explicitly, and toString method is automatically called whenever you pass this reference variable of the object to the print function. So let me just run this code, and the output remains the same. This is because the toString is automatically being called for S1. Now let's come to the student class and remove this declaration. So any class that do not have any immediate parent class is actually inheriting the object class automatically. And let me run this code finally, which will have no effect at all. So that means in Java, when you're trying to print the object, it will automatically call the toString method. And if you have declared and overridden the toString method in your class, this overridden version will be called. Otherwise, if you do not have overridden this method, the toString of the object class will actually be executed. Another benefit of the toString method is that if in case you want to represent your object in form of a string or a text, you can explicitly call the toString method and it will return the string representation of your object, which will be stored in the text. And now this text can be stored onto the file, or it can be used for any other processing.